send the presentations together with the whole recorded video to your emails. So our program will start with the opening remarks from our Consul General, Bart van Bolhoff. He will brief you about our partnership with EBRD, BCSD Turkey, as well as he will introduce you our circular economy agenda in Turkey. Then we are going to continue with the experts' presentations. So now it's Bart's floor.
Hello, good afternoon from Istanbul. Very happy that you are here. Also, thanks to the goedemiddag, de collega's in Nederland. Good that you are there to hope that we can find some interest with you to participate in the voucher program that we so happy to assist EBRD and local partners to make this happen. As you, I think all of you seem, it's good to have you there as well, Circo. I think all of you know about the importance of the transition to the circular economy, so I don't have to elaborate too much on it. The strong ambitions from the Dutch side to be fully circular in 2050, and already halfway in, 10 years from now. Here in Turkey, our consulate and embassy have the circular economy on our program since a year or two. And I was actually quite surprised in the let's say the appetite and the activities already done here in Turkey, especially in industry. We also try to address it obviously in the on the national political level. It became part of the talks between both trade ministers, and actually in a few weeks from now, trade ministers Mr. Kaag and Mr. Petjan will meet again. And they will talk again about the cooperation on circular economy, the training activities that are going on in Circo took such an important place, but also projects that are going on in textiles, fashion and denim, and also the need for governments to be involved on issues like legislation, etc. But it's really great to see how much, again, appetite there is with Turkish industry to be in the front of this transition, especially those who are linked with European and Dutch partners in supply chains, value chains. There's a lot of things going on, and what we did in the past year or so is to have trainings on thanks to Circo and others, on co-design workshops on circular business models and circular design, and also train the trainer programs. And so we also came in contact with via CKD, also with EBRD here, and in a quite interesting digital marketplace that was set up by these partners, and they asked our support in making next steps to transform it in a platform for circular economy, to get best practices between industries, partners in industry exchanged, and a great idea came up to include vouchers to that system. So to give, and it will be elaborated afterwards, but I briefly pointed out to give the opportunity to Turkish businesses, also SMEs, obviously, being part of supply chains or others, to make the first steps in the transition to circular economy with technical support from the Netherlands and also Turkey and other places. And we were happy to support it via our trust fund at EBRD to make 500,000 euro available for the vouchers and other related activities. So there is Dutch money in it, and we hope, because that's even more important, that as being front runners in the transition to the circular economy, that partners like you in the Netherlands will be available and around to to give this business-to-business support in the transition to the circular economy, so that these vouchers can be also used to procure your services. And now that's also the second part of the talk of today will be about the requirements of the procurement. So these vouchers are part of really of a bigger activity. This marketplace, the Holland Circular Hotspot, circular economy in Amsterdam, and others are involved. We're talking with Groene Brein and TNO and others. We hope that they will play a role in it, and we invite you very much to take part in this scheme. So that is what we had in mind for today, to inform you about this voucher program and other activities. So Jaron, that's about what I wanted to share with the people, you in the Netherlands, and also the friends from Turkey that are around. I hope that it will be a fruitful change of information, and at the end, obviously, we hope that many of you will take part in this voucher program. Thank you.
Thank you, Bart, for your opening remarks. Now I would like to invite Johan Bert. Johan, he's the Acting Interim Director at Procurement Operations and Delivery Department, EBRD London office. He's today going to give us a presentation on the registration for Circular Economy Voucher Program for Turkey and the procedures for the consultant selection. Johan, the floor is yours.
Let me just take a second to try and share my screen so you can all see my presentation.
Sure.
Of course, the one you want is never the one that's immediately available. Here we go. Share. Here we are. Can everyone see my presentation?
Yes, we can hear. Yes,
okay.
We can see.
Okay, all right. So my name is Johan Bert. I am the acting interim director of the Procurement Operations and Delivery Department of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And I would like to start out by giving a quick overview of how the EBRD's consultancy framework overall operates. The EBRD's procurement function consists of two parts, and we use separate policies and we use separate departments. One part, which is the procurement policy and advisory department, which I'm not part of, occupies itself with anything that concerns the procurement by our clients using funds that we provide to them, whether it's loan funds or whether it's loan funding or grant funding. My department, which is the Procurement Operational and Delivery Department, occupies itself with bank contracted consultancy. And in particular, bank contracted TC consultancy, TC being technical cooperation, which is known by most other organizations as technical assistance, and we operate under the corporate procurement policy. Now, for those of you who may have worked under either the PPNR, which is the Procurement Policies and Rules, or the CPP, which is the Corporate Procurement Policy, they are pretty much aligned concerning anything that's related to consultancy procurement contracting. Both of our policies are based that the default selection method is single stage open competitive selection with submission of a technical and a financial proposals which are evaluated separately and then added up. We apply in general, we use electronic procurement systems. In the case of PPAD, it's called ESEP. I used to know what that abbreviation stood for, but I have long since forgotten. I presume one of the E stands for electronic, one of the P stands for procurement. POT's current procurement system is called e-selection, which we expect to phase out by the end of the year or early next year and replace with a source to contracting S2C system. Now, I have mentioned all of this because I want to give you an idea of how the framework is. And in my next slides, I will immediately tell you why none of this will actually apply in this particular case, because we are adopting a special approach here. So as a reminder, who engages consultants? Either the bank, EBRD, using the bank's administrative budget, or donor funds under the CPP, or the bank's clients using EBRD managed donor funds or loan proceeds under PPNR. For additional context, how do we plan on running the voucher scheme? We have run some other voucher schemes, but those operated in a different fashion. Some other voucher schemes for innovation that we have run use a client contracted approach, which the EBRD provides a client with a grant. The client uses those grant funds to engage consultants. For this particular approach, we take a bank contract approach, which is to say that we will approach a client, we will offer them a voucher of a value not exceeding 40,000 euros, probably somewhere between 10,000 and 40,000. And for that voucher, we'll say we will engage for you a consultant using this funding, which will provide advice to you. That is why it ended up with my department. Now, keeping in mind was the structure. EBRD engages the consultant. We are linked by a consultancy contract. Consultants will send us their invoice, and we will pay their invoice, even though the consultant might be performing services for entities other than EBRD. Usually, EBRD clients or beneficiaries of EBRD grant funds. I'd like to give you now a quick summary of the procedures for consultant selection. As you can see, we have three main procedures. One is direct selection. Second is single stage open competitive selection. The third is two-stage open competitive selection. In principle, any assignment that costs less than 75,000 euro, we will handle through direct selection. Any assignment above will be handled through competitive selection. One stage if it is a relatively simple assignment, all things being relative. Two-stage if it is a particularly complex assignment. In this particular case today, I want to focus on direct selection, in particular because direct selection is formally speaking under the procurement rules the procedure that will apply, with some twists, as you will see later. Now, what kind of consultancy are we looking for? What is the scope of services? We are essentially looking for 4 types of services, which I'm listing here. Techno-economic feasibility of circular economy projects, including circular economy principles in corporate strategy and government, capacity building for the staff, and support in accessing circular finance. So those are the areas of expertise that we are looking for in this particular context. And that is the expertise. Now, what are the counterparts that we are looking for? Looking for firms or individuals. So a firm can come up and propose services to multiple experts, or an individual with the required expertise can also apply. Looking for at least 15 years of experience in circular economy and resource efficiency. We're looking for experts, whether single operators or firms providing experts with a master's degree in engineering or economics finances, very good knowledge of circular economy business, good understanding of international and in particular the Turkish circular economy legislation, experience in training or coaching if you are applying for category 3, which is the capacity building, and of course, because we are operating in Turkey, knowledge of the Turkish language. It is desirable, but it is not essential. Now, I would now like to direct you to the page on our website where we have published a call for expressions of interest. It is on our website. I have included the full link. We published it on 19th of June 2020 and is open until June 2021. Now, some of you might be saying, but Johan, you've been saying that you are handling this through direct selection. Why are you putting up a procurement notice inviting expressions of interest? Well, the truth is, we try, in order to fill up a roster of capable consultants that we can use to then directly award contracts to, we are opening this call for expressions of interest. The purpose is to establish a long list of eligible consultants for future contract awards. As I mentioned, and as the notice itself mentioned, it is expected that the contracts that we will be awarding will not exceed 40,000 euros in value, which, as you may recall, sits below the threshold for direct selection. But at the very least, once we have published this notice, And by the way, this will remain open for registration normally until June 2021. So that is next year. We establish a list. That way we have an idea of the talent pool that is available to us and to the beneficiaries of our vouchers for the services. And based on the nature of the assignment, one of the four, a particular industry, we will try and match the particular profile of a consultant with the client. We will then enter into contract negotiations with that particular consultant and hopefully reach an agreement. How should you apply? As usual, keep it short and sweet. Your application should be no longer than 10 pages in English, by email to an email address. So everything that I've said about our electronic procurement platforms, in this particular case, you do not have to apply that. All the emails can go to the email address which I have listed here, which is also listed in the notice. It's operated by Mr. Chris Mounsey, whose contact details I have put on the next and final slide. What should it contain? It should contain a consultant information sheet, essentially your contact details, so that if we decide to pick your company or yourself, if you're a sole operator, for an assignment, that we can contact you. Email address should be there at the very least, address, business registry, and so on. Your consultant profile outlining your key areas of expertise and a list of sector area expertise and project references. We're not looking for certified completion statements by client. We just want to have a list of the type of projects that you have worked on before, which will allow you to demonstrate your expertise in these particular matters. Given that we are only talking about 10 pages, I presume it goes without saying that you should probably limit your list of projects to the projects that are actually relevant to this particular assignment. This gives you a summary. I would strongly recommend that you click on the link for the web page, which will provide you even more information on this. We'll also provide you with context on the EBRD's voucher program in general. Again, as I mentioned, the notice has been published in June 2020. It will stay up at least until June 2021. Needless to say, if you wish to have a chance of getting assignments in the short term, you should probably register sooner rather than later. And finally, for my final slide, contacts in particular. Normally I put my name on this, but because this happens a bit outside the regular system, I have taken the liberty providing you with the details of Mr. Chris Mounsey. He's the E2C2 associate. Now, E2C2 is not a character from Star Wars. It stands for Energy Efficiency and Climate Change Team. He's responsible in that team for EU and bilateral green finance. I'll include his phone number, and I have included his email address. Now, this concludes my presentation. I do understand that there will be an opportunity for questions and answers, and I will be available up until about, I'm trying to juggle here because I'm in France. I've got times for UK time, and this is handling in Turkey. Until about, I believe, 4:15 Turkish time, I shall be available until then to answer questions. So thank you, and I pass the floor back to the organizers and the other presenters. Thank you.
Many thanks, Johan. About your brief presentation, very clear. I would like to refer what Johan said. Please write down your questions in the chat box. We kindly asked our experts to stay until the end of the program, which will end at 4:15. So they're going to be here to answer your questions. So I think it's a great opportunity for you to get to know more about the EBRD Circular Economy Voucher Program. So now I would like to invite Ms. Ferda Ulutaş-Selvi. She is the technical advisor at Business Council for Sustainable Development Turkey, and Ms. Ulutaş-Selvi, she is going to give us a presentation today about circular economy platform of Turkey and the detailed information on the vouchers. but as well as, which is quite, I think, inspirational for the experts to get to know some examples from the previous circular water projects.
Okay.
Ferda Hanım?
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to share my content as well. Just a minute.
Yes, Ferda Hanım, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, hello again. After the general framework provided by Johan from EBRD, now I'm going to give some specific information about our circular economy platform and the current phase of Circular Waters 2.0 scheme. Very briefly, Circular Waters 2.0 is a free technical assistance scheme for the member companies only of the circular economy platform. And it aims to help companies become more circular by the help of relevant consultancy services. And these services are to be provided by consultants selected by EBRD based on the specific scope of work proposed by the companies themselves. Based on this framework, in order to give you some idea about what type of companies and scope of works are expected from the Circular Waters 2.0, I will briefly talk about the platform, the technical support process we provide, and how Circular Waters contribute to this process. And then I will be highlighting some details about the scheme, particularly the company side, and potential project areas based on previous examples and our ongoing interactions with the companies. We can define a circular economy platform of Turkey as a one-stop shop for circular transition of companies. First of all, we have a digital platform, online platform, for promoting industrial symbiosis across different sectors and among our companies. It's called Turkey Materials Marketplace, TMM in short. It's a B2B market for helping member companies exchange their waste, byproducts, alternative raw materials, and etc. We provide free technical assistance, which include the vouchers and some desk-based review studies. We also have knowledge hub. We provide the network and some measurement tools. Actually, we had started the journey with TMM, the Materials Marketplace only, in 2016. Then in years, we improved it a lot with several elements. And finally, we upgraded it from Materials Marketplace to a circular economy platform in accordance with the broader perspective of circular economy. And of course, Circular Voucher scheme, which had started in 2018, was also upgraded accordingly. Now let me go ahead quickly with the platform members. Currently, we have more than 130 members from a vast variety of sectors and industries. And about 2/3 of them are large enterprises. Going into the sectors, here you can see that chemicals, food and beverage, and waste management, waste recovery are the top sectors in the list. in terms of number of companies, of course. But many other sectors like energy, mineral products, metal, plastics, and textile also have significant shares. We find this variety quite significant and valuable, actually, in terms of creating synergies across companies and industries. Now, let's quickly look at the process after a company becomes a member of the platform, and where actually circular vouchers are situated within this process. As you can see here, our main aim is to develop circular economy opportunities and synergies for our members and provide support for making these opportunities happen. For this purpose, as a platform team, we analyze the company information, their inputs, outputs. We review the available and wanted materials that they upload on the digital platform, and try to develop synergies and opportunities, which we further discuss with them and try to elaborate them with the companies. But in addition to that, more specific, sector-specific expertise needs to be incorporated, and detailed techno-economic feasibility studies, like some R&D work, test productions, some material analysis need to be conducted. And at that point, we have circular vouchers, which provide, in a way, the most in-depth study for the development and analysis of circular economy opportunities. In addition to that, we also have desk-based review studies or desk-based consultancy studies. In this study, we expect from the local experts to review the companies and come up with circular economy opportunities. I'm specifically emphasizing this study as well because outcomes of desk-based consultant studies are expected to help companies develop project ideas for the Circular Vouchers 2.0. And currently, local experts are conducting these studies. Keeping this background in mind, now let's look at the details of Circular Vouchers 2.0 a bit more, which is the fourth phase of Circular Voucher scheme. As I mentioned, it's implemented since 2018. Currently, we have two calls for application. The one on the left is for platform member companies. It's posted on our website, website of the Circular Economy platform. And the other one is for the experts and consultants, which already mentioned by Johan. And also, I'm sure most of you have already seen it. Here, the approach is quite simple. Companies will apply for a certain scope of work related to their circular economy needs. And if they are selected by EBRD, relevant consultants, again, which are picked by EBRD, will be conducting these studies. You can see the whole process here, the project cycle, which consists of the application for the companies, selection for both companies and consultants, then implementation and follow-up. I will provide details shortly. Regarding the company applications, the call for application for the current phase will be open until the end of October this year. In their applications, companies will be specifying the scope of work they need by choosing one or more of the 4 items you see on the slide, which was also provided in the previous presentation. The first one, techno-economic feasibility assessment of circular economy projects. That was actually the only topic of the previous circular vouchers. We were focusing mostly on assessing if a certain waste or a byproduct would become a resource for another company, if an internal recycling of a material would be possible, if certain inputs could be replaced by secondary materials. For these, what technologies would be needed, what would be the cost, and if it would pay back. In Circular Vouchers 2.0, this is still valid, relevant, and actually this is still at the core of the work. But the scope is widened with the other circular economy opportunities associated with the value chain. Not only the production phase. In addition, we now have the other 3 items you see in the list. They are the new aspects introduced by Circular Vouchers 2.0. They have been integrated to the scheme by EBRD, considering that the companies may be at different stages of their circular transformation, and they may need to focus on more strategic choices or steps. Company selection will be a competitive process, as you can imagine, and there will, of course, be certain criteria for that. Providing highest circular potential will be the main one, actually. And also projects which have already been pre-assessed by the company will be prioritized by EBRD. Each selected company will be able to get only 1 voucher. And based on the scope of the work identified by the company, and of course approved by EBRD, each circular voucher will have a customized scope. Coming to the consultant side, based on the scope, EBRD will be drafting the TORT, the terms of reference, negotiate the budget, select and contract the consultants. The details were already provided, of course. Most probably, EBRD will be preferring teams of international and national consultants. The total budget for this phase is 200,000 euros. And it's expected that each voucher size will be between 10 to 40,000 euros on average. 90% of each project budget will be covered by the scheme, and the rest 10% by the selected member company. Once the contracts are signed with the consultants, they will conduct the study in accordance with the TOR and their contract with EBRD. Studies are expected to be completed in 4 months in cooperation with the company. And major deliverables for the consultants will be preparing and submitting draft and final reports to EBRD, and also sharing the results with the companies as well. I think this is enough for the details of the Circular Vouchers 2.0, which you can also find in the relevant calls of application and also on our website. Now I would like to continue with the last part, some examples and potential areas, just to give you an idea of what type of projects from which sectors can be expected. For this, first I'm sharing the previous circular voucher projects, most of which are already completed. As you can see here, the major industries are textile, waste recovery, basic metal, food and plastics in terms of number of projects. But we also have projects from other sectors like mining, wood processing, chemicals, etc. Maybe you have some chance to look at them right now, but also this list is available in the website of the platform. Some of these circular voucher projects resulted in transactions, platform transactions between relevant companies. For example, the third one, conversion of food processing waste into biogas, and also the last one, valorization of shampoo and conditioner waste to produce detergents for car and carpet washing. Here you can see some other examples of platform transactions as well. So far, 15 transactions have taken place on the platform, and most of these transactions are continuous transactions. I mentioned about desk-based review studies. I said that currently sectoral experts are conducting these studies for 11 companies to identify their circular economy opportunities. It's actually a simple pre-audit process, but the results of these studies are expected to help companies develop project ideas for circular vouchers 2.0. Because of that, I'm also sharing the sectors of these companies which are benefiting from desk-based review consultancy. You can consider these also as some potential project ideas for circular voucher 2.0. We see again some similar sectors here like food, electric and electronic equipment, plastics and rubber, and construction materials. And finally, I would like to indicate that there are certain platform members also which are particularly interested in developing circular economy projects and probably applying to circular vouchers 2.0. They are from electricity production, metal processing, automotive, and textile industries. And also, so far we have experienced that the sectoral activities that we conduct are triggering and promoting the applications to the circular vouchers scheme. So it may be also helpful to mention here that in the coming weeks we will be holding sectoral meetings for metal, plastics, and textile industries. Of course, these are some expectations and some approaches only to give you some idea. As you saw, we have many companies on the platform and different sectors. So we may receive different applications from a variety of companies and sectors. We haven't received any application yet, but we have time until the end of next month. So this is all I plan to share with you. And thanks for listening.
Thank you, Ferda Hanım, for your detailed and very clear presentation about the process, the details, as well as the platform but very inspiring previous projects. I hope it was helpful for the experts and participants. And we are looking forward to also be included in those sectoral events. As you know that here at the consulates, textile is going to be the focus sectors that we will be working together with you and with EBRD, but as well as the plastics and the packaging. So we're so much looking forward. So now this is the end of our presentations. Now I would like to continue actually with the questions that were raised by participants. And I would like to start the one about Turkey Circular Economy Platform. And this question is for you, Ferda Hanım. The question is if only the Turkey Circular Economy Platform members can use the vouchers, and the answer is yes, we know. And we would like to know, the question holder would like to know the reason. And also another question is related with that, how to become a member of this platform.
Yes, as you said, this circular voucher scheme is only for platform members because it is developed by EBRD for this purpose, for improving the activities of the circular economy platform and for improving the efficiency of the platform. So it's very easy to become a member of the platform, actually. You can reach us through email from the contact information that are available on the platform website. And you don't need to pay any membership fee. We will just sign a confidential agreement with you or with the company. And that's all, actually. So it's easy to become a member. And once you become a member, you will be able to apply for the vouchers.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question was raised by our participant from Fort Otasan. So we would like to know for Horizon 2020 projects. Okay. So are you creating a consortium for Horizon 2020 Green Deal call for circular economy? We want to be partner for circular economy consortiums as Fort Otasan, and this question also raised for Ferda.
Yeah, actually, I am the technical advisor and project consultant for the VCSC Turkey and Circular Economy platform. Maybe you should ask this question to our project managers and project experts. We can arrange this after the session, I think.
Our innovation attaché, Rory Nowens, he would like to also share some remarks about Horizon 2020.
Yes, thank you. Sorry for the echo. Yes, I mean, if Turkish organizations would like to join Horizon 2020 consortia, they can always approach us, the Consul General, and we can forward those requests to our national contact points in the Netherlands, and to see whether there are any consortiums that are building, and then we can include those Turkish organizations in it. So feel free to approach us about that, and then we can see if we can help you with that.
Thank you, Rory, for your answer. Now the last question is about actually is for Johan. So it is the process of selection of the consultants. As far as we are concerned that there will be Turkish consultants, but as well as international consultants, including the Dutch consultants. How is the process within the EBRD procurement team to match those consultants for each project? Will there be a competition process between international and Turkish consultants? The question is asked because of the fact that in the criteria there were some important expertise needed with respect to the regulations in Turkey, such as waste regulations, etc. So we think that it is encouraged by the bank that this kind of cooperation between Turkish and international consultants is needed for the promotion of the technical expertise. So to wrap up, the question is how the bank is going to manage the process of working together for international and Turkish consultants selection.
What we are there's a couple of options here. Either consultants.
Johan, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Yes. Hello. Hello.
Johan?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. As I was saying, as far as regulating combination of Turkish and international consultants is concerned, there are two options. The first is that Turkish and international consultants can submit separately in response to the expression of interest. It's also quite possible that depending on the expertise that is required, we see that we, mostly being the E2C2 team, see that there is a need for a mix of international and Turkish expertise. Therefore, they might split an assignment into two or multiple terms of reference, and they might match particular piece of expertise with the specific piece of expertise that's being provided by consultants, and then handle the management of the two or three different consultants of different origins themselves. In terms of competition between consultants, we do not expect any, because we do not expect to run any, because as I mentioned, these assignments are all expected to be under the threshold for direct selection, which is a value of 75,000 euros or less. We're not ruling it out, especially in cases where we might have potentially value over 75,000 euro, or we feel that the cost of running a competition is actually a net benefit compared to the advantage that we might get out of the additional competition. But most of the time, we will be looking at nature of an assignment, requirements of the expertise, and matching that directly with the consultants which have registered.
Thank you very much, Johan, for your answer. Now we have another question from Circo. The question is that, can we apply with different consultants from the Circo project? So from one particular company, if there could be different consultants, or is it better to apply on personal titles, so on company level or on personal level? This question can be answered by both of you, Johan, Ferda. Can I get your remarks separately, maybe?
Ferda, would you like to go first, or shall I go first?
It's better if you go first, Johan.
Okay, all right. From the EBRD's point of view, it does not matter that much. As I said, it's open to both firms, which is to say entities which present multiple experts, or single experts. If you normally work through a company, it would make sense to apply through that company to avoid any potential conflicts between employees working in a personal capacity and employees working for the firm. One thing that I would do, however, is, because it's consultancy, it's essentially based on personnel. When you submit with multiple experts, I would very much highlight their specific area of expertise, and also, amongst other things, which of the four categories that I mentioned: feasibility, internal governance, capacity building, or access to finance, you think they are best suited to. It's quite possible that experts might be suitable for more than one of the categories. But if you do that, keep in mind it's about experts and expertise. make sure you highlight what the skills are of the individual experts, even if you apply as a firm with multiple experts. Over to you, Ferda.
Yeah, actually, I don't have anything else to add. That I agree with you. It's important to see the expertise of the specific consultants, experts. It doesn't matter it's under a certain company or not.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much. I guess so far it has been all in terms of questions. So I would like to wrap up. We have, I think, 20 more minutes, but maybe they have until 4:15. But since we don't have any other questions, I think it's been already clear. I would like to thank you, Johan and Ferda, for your great contributions. We have been promoting us here at the Consulate General circular economy voucher calls for the consultants since it was published back in 19 June 2020. And there have been some applications so far. So with this event and through our further communications, we will continue to promote the vouchers. But just a kind reminder, and it was one of the remarks, I think, that again, I would like to notify that EBRD runs the registration for consultants until 2021. But as soon as they have sufficient registrations and have a right match with the companies, it is no longer possible to register. Therefore, our advice is to register, our advice to the experts is to register as soon as possible. Is there a question? Okay, so the question is about if there is a standard application form that you can share. I think it's for Johan.
We don't have any standard application form to share. We're looking for CVs, which can be in essentially whichever form. It can be free form, personal form, EU standard form, World Bank standard form. Anything goes really, as long as we can actually see and analyze the expertise. As far as the expertise is concerned, we don't have a particular form either. Again, provided you can do it with a bullet point list, projects for expertise such and such. This is what we did. When it comes to the information sheet, we are looking for contact details. So at the very least, we need to get an email address. Just one thing, if it's an email address, please use an email address that will still be around, say, a year from now. There's something that I've often encountered with consultants is they register in one of our systems or they send in an application. They use an email address of a person leaves the company, they never receive emails anymore, and then they are surprised why they're not receiving emails anymore. That's one of the main recommendations that I can give you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Johan. So with this event, we hope that today we did contribute successfully to the promotion of the scheme further. Thus, we look forward to welcoming Dutch experts in the EBRD consultant list. Thank you for your interest and participation in this session. I would like to wish you good luck with the registration. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Have a very good day, Johan and Ferda. Thank you very much. Yeah.